metal in a vault protects me from the downsides of cash in a bank. So you've covered that base. Another major point is why we only buy for ourselves allocated metals, where you know the serial number, it's been confirmed by the vault that does daily audits. It's then had an independent auditor that goes in and says, yes, the metals that the vault say are there, we confirm are there. And everyone trusts everyone, and everyone trusts no one all at the same time. And it's kind of it's a balance that everyone's in, saying, yes, you're a storage partner. We're the bullion dealer. We're the auditors. Yes, we're all smiling and getting along great. By the way, we want it in writing. We want to see it for ourselves. So we trust you, and we also don't trust you. And that's really good for customers. There's an interesting distinction about having metal in a vault and paper in a bank. And the way that banks are set up is with something called the fractional reserve system. And it sounds complicated, but it basically means that you deposit £1, €1, $1 with a bank, and they can lend out multiples of that £1, €1, or $1. So you give them £1, they can lend out 9 times that of that pound. So they can lend out £9. And you think, well, surely that's not right. How can they lend more than they've got? Because governments empower them to do that. When you put metal in a vault, it is the most boring situation ever. It sits there in a cold, dark room and gathers dust. It does nothing. No one lends it out. No one leverages it. It just sits there. Very, very boring. And you probably won't hear many people talk about their gold business being boring in that regard, but it is. But boring's good. It's nice to know that it is just sat there. I guess it's kind of like if you got a car and you were to lend it to 2 different people to look after it, and one said, I'm going to put your car in my garage and it's just going to sit there. I'm not going to drive it. It's going to stay locked up and it's literally going to gather dust. Okay, that's one option. And the other one says, I'm going to take your car and I'm going to enter it into a race or several races, and I'm going to race it around and I'm going to look after it and I'm going to try and win some prize money for myself. And maybe I'll give you the crumbs off the table of the prize draws. Where do you feel the safest? Because that's what happens with a bank. You give them what's yours, they take it and they do what they want with it and they risk it. So looking at that, we feel far safer with metal in a vault that just sits there. Think about the insurance in a vault as well. They are insuring insuring against an external risk. So because they're not risking your metals on a day-to-day basis, there is no risk with their operation, with their activity. It's not a risk activity. It's something external happening that they're insuring against. The banks with the financial compensation scheme and these deposit protection schemes backed by the government, they are saying, we are risking your money. And that's why we need this insurance, this protection against our own activity, our own risks that we're doing every day.
That's why they need it in the first place.
So really those deposit protection schemes are protecting you, but kind of insuring the banks for their own activity. It's a totally different thing. So it's good to make that distinction of how they're different.
Calling all US citizens. Check out the link in the description to get your free Gold Busters ebook.